Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
So nice to see you. So wonderful. All of you chose this beautiful Friday evening in August. The weather is just perfectly delightful to join us for services and to breathe deeply into Shabbat, let go of the week that has passed, and enjoy the peace that comes from being together in community, joining together in prayer, reciting blessings together, and bringing in Shabbat with joy. You might be wondering who's with me up here on the Bima. This is the incredible Jason Flatt. If any of you had kids or teens or adults who worked in the camp this summer, they definitely know Jason. He's our new full-time song leader, started in June, and is so generous of you, Jason, to join me on this Shabbat evening. We have a lot to celebrate. We have Maggie and Judy becoming Benot Mitzvah tomorrow, and we have wonderful moments in our congregation always to celebrate. Perhaps some of you are here because you've lost someone in recent days, or you're here to commemorate a yard site, and we are here for you too. This is what the temple community is all about, being with each other through all the parts of our life and join together in song. So, Jason and I thought it would be fun to teach something new tonight, and this is a beautiful piece by Nava Tehillah from the Kabbalat Shabbat section, so we're actually going to come back to it later. We're going to learn it now as a nigun, and I'm passing it over to you. Jason, teach us.
All right, I'm very glad to be here, and very glad to begin with the nigun version of the song, and we'll, like the Cantor said, we'll sing it again after Lakata Day. Let's try that together. Let's sing that again. Let's try that one. Let's put them together.
Take a chance now to greet each other, make the opportunity to even deeper our connections in our community. So I invite you to turn to somebody perhaps you haven't seen in a while, or perhaps a new face, and wish them Shabbat Shalom. It's 11. Oh, choir 11. Do you want me to turn it down?
I turned it down. I can still adjust for it.
Okay. You can stay with me if you want. Well, for candles, you can come back. You want to chill. We join together by lighting the Sabbath lights, bringing light into the world. It's an honor to call upon Alan and Mike, the dads of our Benot Mitzvah, to join us up on the Bima. For the kindling of the Sabbath lights, we turn to page 3 in our prayer books. So you can both come. Actually, I'm going to stand right in front of this podium.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Sure.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you both so much. Seat. We continue on page 20 now with Lachado D, welcoming in Shabbat with these joyful words and bringing in the Sabbath bride among us. We will sing verses 1, 2, and 9, and it's our custom when we reach verse 9 to rise and face the entrance to our sanctuary to welcome in the Sabbath bride. And after verse 9, you may be seated. We continue with Lachado D, page 20. Lachado D, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lachado D, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, yishmianu de'am milchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, shemo tiferet v'litfilah. Lachado D, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lachado D, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Verse 2. Likrat Shabbat, lechu ve'echa, ki hi mekor habracha, ve'rosh mikeret nesucha. Lachado D, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lachado D, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Verse 9, please rise. Boi v'shalom, Ateret bala, kam besimcha ub'tzola,
adodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela lekadodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela.
Please be seated. We continue now with the song with which we began our service on page 23. The words are Mikolot Mayim Rabim, 6 lines from the bottom of the prayer on page 23. The beautiful words that speak about the ocean, its thunder, the thunder of mighty waters, and how we might feel that within our lives and let it inspire us. So I hope you'll join us.
Adirim bishmereya mikolot mayim rabim Adirim bishmereya Adir b'marom Adonai Adir b'marom Adonai Adir b'marom Adonai Adir b'marom Adonai Mikolot mayim rabim Adirim bishmereya Mikolot mayim rabim Adirim bishmereya Adir b'marom Adonai Adir b'marom Adonai Adir b'marom Adonai Adir b'marom Adonai.
We continue now with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship on page 28. Please rise if you feel comfortable doing so. We turn now to page 30 and join together in the words of Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. As we make our way to the Shema on page 34, we've chosen tonight to sing the melody of Shema written by Tzvika Pick, who passed away this week at the age of 72. Tzvika Pick was a famous Israeli composer. Actually, he composed a lot of pop music and did a lot of theater, but every once in a while he delved into liturgical music, and this is one of his most famous liturgical pieces. So we sing it in honor of the many people who influence our prayer for the better as they create new melodies for our prayer services. So we continue now with the Shema, page 34. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated. We join together in chanting Ve'ahavta on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'fumecha u'kshartam leot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot b'neinecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. We join now on the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. Please join me. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. We join together for Micha Mocha on page 40. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 Micha Mocha.
kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norah tehilot osef eleh, norah tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norah tehilot osef eleh, norah tehilot osef eleh.
Page 42, we join now in these words of Hashkivenu, asking God to shelter us in a sukkah, a shelter of peace.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. 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 Ushmor tzeitenu לחיים ושלום, מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני, אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרים, אלוהינו לחיים, והעמידנו שומרים, אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרים, אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
We turn now to the Amidah, central part of our worship service. We continue on page 46. Tonight we'll chant the first three prayers of this section and then continue silently, coming together for Oseh Shalom on page 62. Please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hozeh U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. Page 52. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Please be seated. We continue silently, either using the words found in the prayer book or words of your own heart. Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. This time in our service, we think of those in our congregation in need of healing, either healing of the mind, body, or spirit. We think of people in our family, in our group of friends, perhaps in this congregation, and we also look to the wider world, our community here in the area, this country, and the entirety of the world, those facing pain, suffering, And we hope that this prayer, and when we raise our voices together in song, will somehow reach them and provide them with the shleimut, the wholeness that they seek, the wholeness of body, mind, or of spirit. Tonight in our congregation, we are thinking of Alon Ben Barbara, Maria Campo, Phyllis Freeman, James Green, Rebecca Cupper, Diane Priest, and Paul Rogers. And we pray too for those who are victims of violence in Israel and around the world, as well as those in need of service to our country who need emotional, physical, and spiritual healing. And I invite you now, as my hand passes around the room, to share names with us so that we can invite them into this space of prayer for wholeness and healing. We join now in our prayer for healing, which you can find in your programs or on page 253, the Mishaberach. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom. So have any of you ever tried latke waffles? It's a serious question. Anyone tried them? You put the latke in the waffle maker. Okay, we have someone. Excellent. What about almond cake with strawberry rhubarb compote for Passover? Anyone? Or maybe apple and honey challah for Rosh Hashanah? Perhaps someone done that. Okay. So who's hungry? Ready for Shabbat dinner? So as you probably know, those of you who've been here for summer services, we have been teaching about lesser-known Jewish leaders in America. And this week, I decided to focus on one of my loves, which is food, if you didn't get that already, and speak about someone named Deb Perelman. Has anyone heard of her? Okay, a famous Jewish cook from New York City who is better known as the do-it-yourself owner and starter of the blog Smitten Kitchen. Yes? Okay, yes, nods, show of hands. Anyone ever used a Smitten Kitchen recipe? Okay, good. I was hoping that was the case. So the blog boasts recipes for bialy babka, cinnamon raisin bagels, marbled cheesecake hamantashen, and her family's noodle kugel. But Perelman doesn't stop there. She also delves into Japanese cuisine, what to pack for the best picnic ever, or how to best use your slow cooker. Deb is the founder, and she wasn't always such an inspired cook. She grew up with a mother who did have a well-worn copy of Julia Child's The Art of French Cooking, but she did not begin to experiment in the kitchen until she was an adult. She majored in psychology and art therapy from George Washington University and began blogging about food in 2006. 14 years later, she has outlasted many of her contemporaries and has an audience well into the millions. She won the Bloggy for the best food web blog in 2012, and she has published her first book in 2012, another one in 2017, called The Smitten Kitchen Every Day, Triumphant and Unfussy New Favorites, and she's working on her third cookbook now. Smitten Kitchen is one of the most clicked on recipe websites out there, which is quite a feat when you consider if you Google like recipe for waffles and how many things come up. Smitten Kitchen might be one of the first. Deb Perelman began cooking in an 80 square foot New York City apartment kitchen with a wobbly cart she used as a cooking surface. She had no cabinet space, a dishwasher that leaked, and a refrigerator that froze anything that was in the far back. What her kitchen lacked, though, in surface space and other comforts, it made up for in ambiance. She had a skylight and a view of the city, and a tiny little fire escape where she grew tomatoes and herbs in small containers. Her early blog posts focus on comfort foods, but would take them up a notch by teaching the reader how to make homemade bread or how to poach an egg. She also prides herself on recipes that only take 5 minutes, like her zucchini and almond side dish, which is a favorite. When asked about what made her early blog different from other famous cooking blogs, her answer was twofold. She tried to be personable and funny, and she tried to take away the stress of making a meal. She experimented, shared her successes and failures with her readers, and created go-to recipes that could be accessed at any skill level. Deb says that food should be accessible, delicious, and fresh. She provides 116 ways to make a salad, what to do with the weird CSA vegetable you get in your box, or the many ways you can add a delicious egg to your meal. She doesn't try to sell anyone a fantasy of domestic bliss. She simply wants to eat well and teach others how to do the same. She creates and tests each of her recipes in her tiny New York kitchen on her own, even to this day. In her first book, Deb called her way of cooking telephone cord cooking. She remembers when her mom would be talking on the phone to a friend on the kitchen landline, walking around with a telephone cord trailing behind her. Interlaced with their gossip would be questions like, how should I season the chicken? Or how long do I cook the squash? She wanted readers to have the intimacy one gets from talking with friends about food. Like one friend giving advice to another, her blog invites people to cook at their own level and share a meal with loved ones. I personally love the Smitten Kitchen blog and go there often for Jewish and non-Jewish recipes. If you haven't heard of it, I invite you to check it out. And remember that Deb Perelman is a Jewish woman who changed how thousands of people have approached cooking. Shabbat Shalom. We continue now with our concluding prayers, Aleinu and then Kaddish. It is an honor to invite our Benot Mitzvah, Judy and Maggie, to lead us in the Aleinu, and their mothers, Anna and Michelle, to open the Ark. We rise and turn to page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
Page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair.
Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of holiness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
We come now to our moment of memory in the service. I know there are many among us who are thinking of loved ones. Either they passed at this time in years past, or perhaps it's a most recent death and you are here to be among the community and feel the shoulders of all of us helping lift you up during this hard time. Or perhaps you're just thinking of someone on this beautiful day and are reminded of their presence. So I invite you to take a few moments now, starting on page 288. There are a few poems or reflections to bring people whom you've loved and lost into your heart and mind as we prepare for the mourner's Kaddish. It's our custom upon hearing the name of a loved one to rise so that the congregation may acknowledge you and perhaps come up to you at the oneg and offer condolences and words of kindness. Tonight we are offering our condolences to Garrett Goldstein on the death of his father, Philip Goldstein. And we think of those who are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. Nancy Rome, mother of Brian Rome. Walter Scherf, brother of Lorraine Wodiska, Esther Janowski, mother of Sonia Goldstein, David Knocker, father of Tony Knocker, Dorothy Mikolojic, mother of Scott Mikolojic, Estella Weckstein, mother of Kenneth Weckstein, David Harrison, husband of Tina Nauheim, Jack Levison, husband of Diane White, and Michael Fisher, uncle of Elise Stein. And now we think of those who died at this time in years past. Miriam Appleton, Robert Bergman, Alexander Bernstein, Ida Block, Anne Botwick, Irene Chernock, Estelle Davis, Rhoda Epstein, Robert Factor, Barbara Fellner, Ida Dannon Fiddleman, Sydney Fiddleman, Bonnie Fillerman Cobrin, Herman Garland, Harry Gilman, Muriel Hennings, Linda Holden, Helene M. Holland, Betty Hollander, Betty Jardot, Edwin L. Kahn, Julius Kane, Alan Katz, Abraham Katz, Howard Cavalier, Kenneth Kramer, Bernard R. Krashen, Hilda Krieger, Sonia Levine, Michael Littman, Holly McDonald, Henry McGeed, Herman Matz, Ruth Miller, Sidney Murakber, Donald R. Neer, Mildred Newman, Ray Olson, Joseph Palambi, Donald Pauly, Nerida Ars Canones, Lucille Radcliffe, Jean Schatz, Rosalind Siegel, Robert Silverman, Marcus Simon, Richard Slachter, Gerald Spielman, Margot Springer, Moses D. Springer, Bernice Stearman, Beverly Stein Verbit, Irving Stern, Sally Turman, Daniel Wasserman, Samuel Waxler, Alberta Willens, Arlene Wolf, and Bernard Zinman. And I invite you now to add a name to that list, or if I've mispronounced a name, to re-say it for our congregation. We turn now to page 294. We rise as a congregation to join our mourners so they feel our support and love as we join in the words of Mourners Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'miru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam U'Lalmei Almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, Shemei Dekudashah Brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Niran be'alma v'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru. Amen. Zichronam livracha, may the memory of our loved ones always be a blessing to us. Please be seated. It's an honor to call upon Jeremy Sandler, the Rhodes 2100 president and Temple Congregational Board member, to share with us some greetings and announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Congratulations to our B'nai B'tzvahs. As Cantor Rhodes said, my name is Jeremy Sandler. I'm the president of Rhodes 2100. For those who don't know, Rhodes 2100 is the 20s and 30s voice here at Temple Rhodes Shalom. We do a variety of programming, spiritual, secular, gather, worship, discuss, serve, hang out, all in communities. So if you are in that age group, or you have children in their 20s and 30s, or grandchildren in their 20s and 30s, I'd be happy to tell you more about it after tonight's service. And most importantly, it is an honor to welcome you all on behalf of our congregation to our worship service tonight. And for those who are joining us virtually, we hope you will join us in person when you are able to do so. It would be a joy to welcome you properly and tell you more about our extraordinary community. And to those who have joined us in person, it is great to be together tonight. Please check out the e-letter from yesterday and the latest edition of The Connection, which is also available on our website, templerodefshalom.org, for more announcements of upcoming events here at TRS. Speaking of upcoming programming, High Holy Day registration this upcoming Monday, August 22nd. Celebrate High Holy Days 5783 with your TRS family by purchasing your tickets and new prayer books by this Monday, August 22nd at 9 a.m. Email hhvol@templerodefshalom.org or call the Temple's main line for assistance. We are offering an informational meeting for first-timers trip to Israel scheduled for Sunday, September 11th at 7 p.m. Rabbi Schwartzman will be leading a trip to Israel for first-timers or for those who have not been in many years next year in 2023. Please attend this informational meeting to learn more. Contact Cookie Mandel, our Director of Membership Engagement, if you are interested in attending. More information about these announcements can be found in this week's TRS letter. Shabbat Shalom. We join now in the Kiddush. To
Pleasure to call upon Maggie and Judy to lead us. And if everyone could please rise, we join together on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu b'shabbat kodsho b'yahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh b'reishit ki hu yom techilah lemikra'ei kodesh zecher etziat mitzrayim ki banu achata v'tanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Please be seated. After we conclude with one more round of the nigun with which we started the service, Jason, come on up. Everyone here on the bima will process out of the sanctuary, and that way we can greet you in the foyer or at our oneg, which is outside on the terrace, just right away when you walk in. It's not called the terrace. What is it called? Someone help me. The outer foyer. I don't know. Can't keep track of all these names. So please join us for a delicious oneg and conversation after the service. And we conclude with this nigun, this joyful nigun called the Asheville Nigun. Please join us. Wishing everyone ahead a Shabbat of peace, of comfort, and joy. Shabbat shalom, and we'll see you soon. Take care.